Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Beits. I am the proud owner and a wonderful teammate for my amazing teammates at Gallop Technology Group. We are a 22 almost year-old managed service provider, IT provider for small, mid-sized businesses. And part of this giving back to the community aspect is what I love to do, which is to basically educate. I love doing that because I love learning about new technologies, and I'm very excited with the topic today because it's all about AI and cybersecurity, two things that are very exciting for me personally. And I really think that they're pretty much a future of everything technology related. AI, cybersecurity, and also robotics are the three things that I think will take over the world. I'm a proud father of four kids. Those ages over here are actually a year older as of 12 days from now. My little one is turning 16. The triplets are turning 18. And where the heck did the time go? I don't know. So let's talk about cybersecurity and how AI is transforming small business security. There are quite a few things that we're going to need to talk about. And the first one is, why am I personally worried? And I can tell you that the battle today is the reason why I'm worried. The battle today is not just the old school hackers, it's also the AI versus AI. And that means that hackers have a lot more tools in their toolbox, way more than the security side of the equation will have. And it's always the cat and mouse type of relationship, unfortunately, with bad people. Another thing is that every 11 seconds, a business falls basically to ransomware. I think the slide here doesn't look good, but business falls. What's the word? Shoot, my English is driving me crazy. Every 11 seconds, a business falls victim, there you go, to ransomware, and half of them don't recover. I have all the sources for all of those statements toward the end. Small businesses are a huge target these days, and hackers know that our budget is not the same as Wells Fargo is and other big corporations. So they are looking for the lowest hanging fruit, and it's not hard for them. Deepfake is a huge worry. Faking phone calls, faking voices, faking videos, and having a lot of information available online about the people that you try to impersonate or they try to impersonate makes it a lot bigger of a worry than it has ever has been. AI never sleeps. That's another problem. It will check your backups. It will check a lot more than that, and it will do that usually at night or Christmas Eve, or will trigger the alerts in a day and time that nobody really wants to pick up the phone and be on standby and be called for work. If you're in the IT department or the business owner, you don't want to be bothered by those alerts. So AI will work 24/7. Phishing emails look almost perfect these days from those hackers that actually use AI. Malware will adopt itself. It's going to find a good time to attack you and me. And AI can crack passwords very easily, even CAPTCHA and two-factor authentication. Finding zero-day vulnerabilities is faster than ever. And zero-day vulnerabilities are vulnerabilities that are found today, kind of thing. And hackers are taking advantage of it and learning that those vulnerabilities exist, and right away use AI to figure out ways to take advantage of those vulnerabilities and hack into systems and emails and servers and networks, etc. And those are much faster than what humans are able to find those vulnerabilities and patch them. And there are top three ways that I want to talk about how AI will shape the cybersecurity in 2026 and later. So part of my predictions are that there's going to be a lot more adaptive defense systems. For example, AI models will evolve a lot to basically self-train themselves on new attack patterns. And those are not going to require any human input. It's already pretty much halfway through that process, and the defensive side of things is growing a lot and using AI a lot more, which is wonderful. It will improve real-time adaptability. Another prediction that I have is that there's going to be integrated threat intelligence sharing. So right now, there's a lot of competition still between Kaspersky and AVG and Silence and Sentinel-1 and many of those antivirus, anti-malware engines out there. AI tools will link a lot more across all those industries, and not just between those AI cybersecurity industries, but a lot of the software manufacturers. So when there is a vulnerability somewhere, and let's say Microsoft or SonicWall or Cisco release information about those zero-day attacks, the AI engines will be able to pick those up and get a lot more adapted and implement a lot of those defense systems in place much faster. And another prediction that I have, my top three, my third one is that zero trust and AI fusion is going to take a lot more heavy weight with security. And basically, automated identity verification and access controls that are powered by AI will make a huge part of the implicit trust obsolete. The companies that have zero trust, for example, now, zero trust basically means that you trust nothing on your network, on your computer, on your network traffic, etc., besides the only items that you will whitelist. So it's not blocking specific things, it's blocking everything and allowing only specific traffic or specific programs. Those are going to be obsolete, in my opinion, as well. And we're going to talk about why in a little bit here. So let's understand a little bit more about the AI role in cybersecurity. So why small and mid-sized businesses should give a crap about AI? AI enhances cybersecurity, and that's a big reason why, of course. It empowers the small and mid-sized businesses to detect cyber threats early and respond automatically to be able to safeguard the data. It doesn't require anymore a person that will log in and start blocking some traffic on the router or stopping a specific computer from crawling on the network. AI does, and of course will be a lot more, doing all those safeguards automatically. We've implemented at Gallop Technology Group quite a few years ago already a mechanism, just as an example, that anytime there is suspicious network traffic on a computer in a network, our system will isolate that specific computer or server from the rest of the network, allow no traffic at all in or out of that server, besides our cybersecurity team that will be able to log into that system remotely and do what it needs to do to diagnose and troubleshoot and figure out what the problem is. This is something that's not new technology. It is for many other IT companies, but the industry saw that many years ago, and a lot more people adopt that lately. Another thing to understand as far as AI and cybersecurity is the addressing of growing cyber risks. So AI will help us small, mid-sized businesses to manage a lot more sophisticated cyber threats, and we're going to replace the traditional tools that may miss it. We'll talk about the difference between next-gen AI and traditional antivirus programs in a little bit. And another thing to understand is that supporting limited IT resources, AI will reduce the workload on small IT teams. So if you are running your own IT team in your business, if you're a mid-sized business with your own in-house IT person or IT help desk team or whatnot, it will reduce your workload a lot if you utilize AI correctly, and it will allow a lot more automated security responses and prevention. And of course, maintaining trust and continuity. AI will safeguard sensitive data, which will allow you to preserve the customer trust, of course, and the business operation. I don't need to explain to you the damages of an exposed data, for example, of a bank or a medical facility or a law firm that lost all the intellectual property that their client put in their hands. Now that information is gone. Very bad reputation issue, of course. So couple more things that we want to talk about is what is AI in cybersecurity. So AI detection capabilities is one aspect of it. And that basically means that it will identify security threats. It will analyze patterns and anomalies. Basically, a quick example is that if your software, your security software, like the one we have for our clients, detects that normally a specific computer opens 10 Word documents in an hour, and all of a sudden your system opens 100, it will now be detecting it as a potential anomaly and will do what it was programmed to do, which is either isolate the system or shut it down or whatever it is you program it to do. There's also the adaptive learning system, which is basically will teach AI will be used to learn and adapt over time. So what is normal today and what it looks on today will not be the same as it will be used tomorrow. AI will be able to adapt, and small and mid-sized businesses will use it for protecting themselves, and there's some benefits to that. For example, cost efficiency, updated or up uptime, and you don't need to have deep expertise to run good cybersecurity practice in your small and mid-sized businesses if you choose to do it yourself. You want to understand also that traditional security versus AI has a lot of differences there. So we're going to talk about a couple of them. Limitation of traditional cybersecurity. They rely basically on a signature-based detection, and it will only be able to identify threats that it knows about, and which basically means that it needs to go out to the internet and update its definition file or its database. Otherwise, it won't know that what is the computer experience right now, the network experience right now, is really not safe or is unsecured because it hasn't been updated with that information. That is the traditional security. And when you talk about the advantages of AI, it uses behavior-based analysis, and it will use that to basically offer faster detection and proactive, more or less, response. And the improvement that SMB will see in the security posture is obviously the transition to AI-powered cybersecurity solutions will help the small and mid-sized businesses reduce the risks and strengthen their defense. Now, how does AI detect threats in real time? That's a very interesting question that a lot of our clients ask us, so let me explain a little bit. There is a behavioral analytics that is basically monitoring what the user behaves like. It's basically track and analyzes the user activities to detect unusual or suspicious action effectively. It is using insider threat detection. It's a huge thing these days, which basically it flags abnormal access pattern to sensitive data. Somebody that is in the accounting department or somebody who is in the tech support department don't need to have access to the other department. It will identify that as a potential inside threat and compromised accounts. So if your account, your CFO account has been hacked, for example, and nobody knows about it, all of a sudden that account is requesting access or accessing folders of clients' data that usually the CFO or the bookkeeping department doesn't have any reason to access, it will raise a flag and will be potentially identifying that as a compromised account. And that's a very amazing way to save a lot of potential damages. And adaptive security for the SMB, basically behavioral analytics, will provide the SMB with evolving security that does adapt to new threat dynamically. You don't need to continue updating and teaching your security software, your AI-based security software with what is considered good or not good or normal or not normal. So how does AI detect threats in real time? It also uses the anomaly detection. It will identify those. It will basically attempt to stop those from continuing. It will use continuous learning, which is a huge benefit that AI will bring to the table. And some of the benefits, again, here is that faster threat identification and response will drastically reduce the damage and will help maintain operations. You're not going to have as much downtime, if any, and of course, the integrity of your business. And we're going to look at a couple other options that we're going to want to consider here. That real-time response, the automatic threat detection will also come with instant mitigation, a huge time saver, and of course, alerts and notifications. It will know at what time of day, who to notify, who will most likely be available, who is on standby. It can look at your calendars. It can look at your standby engineer or who is your provider that needs to be alerted, and some of those other benefits related to that. And of course, it will minimize disruption by having those features. Let's look at a couple of example tools over here. So real-time threat detection. One of the things that we use and pretty industry standard today is called Dado Antivirus. It does provide real-time threat detection and automated response tailored for small, mid-sized businesses. There's also another tool from Dado called Dado EDR. It uses AI to analyze endpoint behavior and detect basically emergent cyber threats very effectively. That's the behavior that I mentioned before of, all of a sudden we have 200 Word documents open unexpectedly, or 500 documents are renamed all of a sudden on a server that's not normal. That's a behavior issue. Somebody's logging in to a server they're not supposed to or never have before. We get alerts and we know what to do automatically or manually to address those. And there's also machine learning network monitoring. This is another item from a company called Kaseya, which owns Datto. And this is basically a tool that will leverage machine learning to monitor network activities and identify other behavioral anomalies. There are some key features that you want to look for when you choose an AI-powered cybersecurity tool. You want to make sure that it integrates with your existing system. One of the problems that we see is that a lot of people are sold many different software solutions or AI solutions that don't communicate and talk to their other tools. So I want to share that AI security tools, in my opinion, must integrate really smoothly with existing systems like your productivity suite and cloud platform. One example is reporting abnormal or blocking abnormal logins to your Microsoft 365 accounts. Why would somebody in Kazakhstan or in Russia have any reason to log in to your Microsoft account? If it is an abnormal activity, for example, if you usually travel to Russia for business, that's great. If you don't, your AI cybersecurity tool must integrate with your cloud platform or your other productivity suite like Microsoft or Google, etc., to learn that this is normal or abnormal. There's also the centralized monitoring and reporting that you want to use as a feature for any AI-powered cybersecurity tool that you choose. You want to make sure that you do get alerts, you are getting the right monitoring and reporting, and it's also important for compliance and keeping logs, etc., of login attempts or successful logins, etc. And then there's a plug and play compatibility. A lot of tools are very, very complicated and hard to deploy. So choosing a tool, a feature, I would say, that makes it an easy plug and play compatibility is another important part. You want to make sure that it's not going to be something that your IT team or your in-house team of employees will have a big problem with. You don't want them to stop the ability to work. Scalability is another big part of what we're looking for, and the expansion. A tool that's good today without the ability to expand itself to more users or devices or cloud tools, etc., is going to require you to replace that tool down the road. This is a problem when we see people kind of try to DIY and buy some tools that are great today, but they're going to have to spend so much more time and money later to replace those. It's kind of a waste of time and money. And long-term value and protection, you want to make sure that your scalable solutions are there to reduce the upgrade frequency, and they can pretty much manage themselves if possible and offer consistent protection as your environment grows. For example, all of a sudden you work from home, all of a sudden you don't work from home, all of a sudden you have 3 more locations, or you're outsourcing a lot of your work to somebody overseas that need access to some of your data, etc. Why compliance frameworks are easier with AI tools. And this is very important if you are running a business that has to follow some compliance, for example, HIPAA or SEC or PCI, or if you have some ABA rules that you need to follow. AI compliance framework are much easier to use with AI tools because they offer automated auditing. They offer faster incidents response, which is a huge thing for any compliance framework. Data classification and control, access control, a huge benefit when you work with CIS or PCI or HIPAA compliant or any of those. And NIST is another big one, NIST. They will all require, almost all of them require those features. And of course, peace of mind. This is always a good thing to make sure that you have that peace of mind and that you are not going to be worried too much about fines or violations if you are employing those type of solutions in place. Now, how do you get started? There are simple steps to begin with everything. First of all, the first thing you want to do is enable multi-factor authentication. I talk about it on every webinar that I teach. Please enable multi-factor authentication for everything. And then you want to make sure that you keep regular software updates, and then deploy an AI endpoint protection, not the regular antivirus programs that require internet access to update every 5 minutes, but a real AI endpoint protection is something you want to employ in your business. Then you want to make sure you choose an affordable option. You don't want it to cause you to go bankrupt, of course. Subscription-based, like the rest of the world is going to right now, is probably the easiest way, and that's what 99% I think of AI-powered cybersecurity tools will use these days. It's probably going to be best if you choose something that is cloud-based, so you can manage it from anywhere. It's not requiring your internet traffic in your own office that might be attacked one day to keep your network secured or your system secured or your cloud solution secured. And I highly recommend, of course, to always use managed service providers, companies like us or many others that will provide all the tools and the benefits that you need to have with those, like a unified communication and cloud protection and redundancy and all that important type of features. This is what most managed service providers in Gallop Technology Group caliber will be able to offer. So we're going to continue talking about the common mistakes to avoid, and one of them is the over-reliance on the antivirus side of it. You want to make sure that you choose something more up-to-date than that. A lot of companies neglect the employee training. 80+% of attacks are successful because people click or open stuff they're not supposed to click on or open. And educating your team is a huge factor in protecting your network and your environment and your business, of course. A lot of companies ignore system updates. They don't have the time to deal with that. They don't want to do it manually. They're afraid it's going to cause issues and all that fun stuff. This is a huge mistake that you want to avoid. And not using AI-powered security tools like next-gen AI-based tools and cloud monitoring, etc. Some of the emerging trends are one of the scary ones, I think, are deepfake detection. AI tools are advancing a lot to identify and prevent deepfake content, but I think that we all agree that it is really hard for the human eye to detect what's fake and what's real these days, and it's going to get way worse. AI is going to be always on the defensive side, always behind, in my opinion, definitely in the near future. Another trend is the self-learning malware that is going to become less and less easy to detect. Predictive threat modeling, it's basically when AI enables the modeling to anticipate cyber threats. This is another trend that's we see with the security side of things. And I would love for you to consider a way to build a cyber resilient culture. Very important that from management to the last employee of the company, there has to be good training in place. There has to be good policy updates. There has to be a trusted managed service provider partner in place. In my opinion, it's really hard for SMBs to do it all themselves. And embedding cybersecurity culture is what most businesses lack. And until they get hacked, they will not see that as an important thing, but then they will switch right away the importance of the culture side of it. Because if it's not in your culture, it will most likely not happen. Some of the key takeaways let's talk about here is that AI accessibility for SMB is there. It's accessible and affordable. It makes it very essential for SMBs these days, and no reason really not to employ that. The cost of not doing it is a lot more than doing it. Enhanced cybersecurity posture, basically understanding that AI capabilities are very, very drastically needed, and choosing the right tool will help your business stay more cyber protected. Future of SMB security, it depends on intelligence and adaptiveness and integrated security solutions that can evolve and can adjust and can grow with your business and with the emerging threats, of course. And it has a lot to do with the users. Without the right user training and the right culture, there is not going to be any buy-in from the team, and I can guarantee you pretty much you will fail. Here are some of the references for today's stats, etc. if you want to go over that. And by the way, if you want to get a copy of this presentation, I'm going to be happy to send you the information, the couple of awesome checklists also. So we do have a free checklist for you to request over here for free, of course. It will cover the streamlining of compliance and cybersecurity, how to empower non-technical staff to buy in the cyber threat protection, detection, etc. Save time and reduce errors and support your business continuity. This is a really useful checklist that I encourage you to reach out and request. We'll be happy to send it to you. Scan this QR code or go to that URL, galloptechgroup.com/checklist. Also, we offer at the end of most of our webinars some other cool little things. So there's a complimentary incident response plan review. We basically will look at your incident response plan, the IRP, if you have one. Just send it over to us. We will gladly sign an NDR if you want. We will look at it and identify any weaknesses. We're going to ensure compliance based on your industry, improve your response time if you do have some holes in there that you can learn from, and enhance the team preparedness, and of course, protect your reputation by having the right plan in place. There is another complementary audit that we do for your domain name and email security. So if you're interested in having us do that for you, again, no commitment, no sales BS. We just offer that to the public to keep you guys secured. So take advantage of that. We give you a report. You do whatever you want with that. Take it to your existing IT company, MSP, and have them fix the problems that we found. No hard feelings. We would love to just get you more protected. That's part of what we do for our community. And that's on galloptechgroup.com/free-domain-check or scan this QR code. And we have a lot of companies actually take advantage of that. So would love for you to do the same if you're interested. And I also create a hacking demo that shows a very scary way of how a hacker can get in and control your whole computer without you even knowing it by you opening a simple Word document. So this is another something to look for and learn from. It's a quick, easy to digest video that we have on our channel. So you can look for it on, request it on galloptechgroup.com/hacking-demo. And if you want to reach out to me, chat, set up a time for us to talk about any worries, any issues that you have, or want to confirm that you're doing the right thing for your company, if you have an in-house IT team or person, or if you are the CIO or CTO of a business and want to see what you might be missing, I'm happy to chat. That's what I do for a living in the last 25 years or so. So this is my contact info on galloptechgroup.com/Beits, or scan this QR code and reach out. I'll be happy to chat. That's it for me. Again, Gallop Technology Group, we're here to help and support you if you need anything else. Please reach out. Have a wonderful day and thanks for joining. Bye-bye.